Hello, my name is Steve Gilbert. I'm a certified solar system designer and installer with Downey Energy. Thank you for taking the time to view our solar electric and solar thermal informational seminar. The purpose of this program is to inform the end consumer of the various applications of solar products, how these systems work, the various state and federal incentive programs, and most importantly the site survey, which brings everything together specific to your application. For the purposes of this presentation, all examples and renewable energy references will be for New York State and its governing body NYSERDA. Now feel free, if you have any questions during the seminar, to email me at steve@downeyenergy.com, DOWNEYENERGY, or visit our website www.downeyenergy.com at any point, and I'll respond back to you in a timely manner. Also, that email address and website will be listed several times throughout this presentation. In New York State, the process begins with meeting certain guidelines and regulations set forth by NYSERDA, which stands for the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority. Now, this governing body allocates all the federal funding available for the different rebates and cash incentives that are available in New York State. Now, anyone can install solar onto your home or business. However, only NYSERDA certified installers can offer customers the incentives and cash back for their systems. To become certified, a contractor must demonstrate a proven record of experience, training, and overall customer satisfaction, along with the commitment to further our renewable energy knowledge and educate the public in its uses and benefits. Some of the topics in which we're going to cover in this presentation include NYSERDA, photovoltaics, how solar energy works, the benefits of going green, different PV applications and solar thermal applications, the various incentives and rebates available, the costs, and most importantly, the site survey. Now, there is a fee for the site survey depending on your location. However, this is a critical step in the process and must be done accurately to ensure approval with NYSERDA, and that you have an efficiently designed system. For the first half of this presentation, we'll be discussing photovoltaics, or PV for short. Photovoltaics is the process in which the sun's energy is converted into usable electric energy for your home. The most common semiconductor material used to make solar electric panels is silicone. Silicone is one of the most abundant elements on the planet. However, there are very few refining plants worldwide, and this, coupled with the sheer expense of refining raw silicone, makes up a majority of the price of a PV panel. Photovoltaic solar cells use the energy of the sun's light to cause electrons to move between layers of a semiconductor material such as silicone. Once moved, the electron wants to return but cannot jump back. It gets back by flowing through wires and circuits, which creates electron flow or direct current, DC electricity. Now here we have a close-up view of what happens when the sun's energy hits a PV panel. Now, what are some of the benefits of PV solar? Well, you save money every month by lowering your electric bills, especially peak rates. You can enjoy energy independence by becoming your own energy producer, and utilize free energy from the sun to reduce the effects of utility rate increases. Also, a single 5 kilowatt AC system can prevent more than 9,350 pounds of carbon dioxide emissions in 1 year, and that equates to about 21 barrels of oil. And we can't forget about one of the most obvious and important benefits: it's good for the environment. A majority of the PV installations being done today are in the residential market. However, recent federal changes and incentives have made commercial applications much more cost effective. Another area of growing PV applications is in the portable, remote, and mobile application markets. Now, there are three types of solar panels commercially available: amorphous silicone, polycrystalline silicone, and monocrystalline silicone. Now, the main difference between the three types is the amount of refining the raw material has gone through, and each one has its advantage and disadvantage, all of which I'll go over later on in this program. Here we see 4 different ways that we can incorporate solar into your home or business. We have grid-tied with battery backup, off-grid, and hybrid systems. A grid-tied system is the most common application. It is comprised of your solar panels, an inverter which converts your solar energy into usable AC energy for your home, and a net meter connecting your power to your utility grid. Now keep in mind your solar panels will not work if you lose grid power with this type of system. There are several reasons for this. First off, to avoid power loss and brownouts from clouding or other shading effects that your panels may experience, and to prevent power from returning to the grid if it is de-energized and a utility worker is working on the lines. Also, you heard me mention net metering, and I'll refer back to this later in the presentation. Here's another example, and look at a grid-tied solar system. Here you see the PV panels on the roof. Comes down, powers an inverter. It changes that DC power into AC power, goes into a disconnect, goes into your meter, and then gets distributed into your load center to power your house. Here we see a picture of a grid-tied system with battery backup integrated into it. Now, having batteries integrated into your solar PV system can greatly increase its versatility. In addition to everything a grid-tied system has, a battery backup system incorporates charge controllers and a battery bank, which can power your home at night and operate during the day even if the grid power does go out. An off-grid system is much like that of a grid-tied battery backup system. However, there is no connection to the power grid and it is truly independent. In these systems, careful planning must be done to ensure efficiency, and a joint effort should be made by the homeowners to learn how to use energy efficiently. Example, use your most power-hungry appliances during peak sun hours. And finally, here's an example of a hybrid system. These systems combine multiple sources of energy to supply power to your home, such as PV panel, wind turbine, and a standby generator. Now, you heard me mention net metering earlier in the presentation, and this refers to the process in which excess power produced by your PV system is sold back to the utility company. Now, this process is coordinated and set up by your installer and your existing utility company. Here's an example of some polycrystalline panels made by Sharp. Here's an example of monocrystalline panels commonly used in most residential applications and have a good efficiency. Chances are these probably already own a little bit of amorphous silicone, and they do yield slightly higher efficiency small electronic devices such as solar-powered calculators. Now, amorphous silicone.
Next, we have a generalized overview of some of the information we look at during the site survey.
And it takes a great
in this
deal
example,
more of
created in October 2009, we see our customer has an average $2,000 a year electric bill. And we also see the incentives and rebates that were offered at that time.
Here's a continuation of a cost analysis where we're showing you a month-by-month breakdown of a before and after a PV system is installed and an estimated cumulative yearly savings. Currently, there is a 30% federal tax incentive that is uncapped, available for residential and commercial PV applications. Now, this is above and beyond anything you can get locally on the state level. For more information on these federal tax incentives and also federal loan and grant programs, you can visit www.dsireusa.org or also visit www.downeyenergy.com and click in our links section underneath solar electric or solar thermal pages. Now, state solar incentives can differ greatly from state to state. However, they typically include a sales tax exemption, a property tax increase exemption, cash rebates, tax credits, and production credits. Also, your local utility.
Now, here's an example of some of the current incentive levels offered by NYSERDA. Now, keep in mind that these incentive levels can and do vary by project type and the funding available to NYSERDA. Now, in addition to the NYSERDA rebates and incentives that are available, there are also federal programs that are available to help subsidize your PV application. A good resource for this information is at www.powernaturally.org.
Now, this brings us to the end of the first half of our solar presentation. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, Steve, at downeyenergy.com, or visit our website, www.downeyenergy.com. The next half of our presentation will cover solar thermal heating and its different applications.